What's up, gamers? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to have a winner's mentality in Rainbow Six Siege. Before we go any further, links to all my socials in the description below, so make sure you go check those out. Now, this video is kind of going to be a mixture of all of my mentality videos I've made in the past mixed into one. Now, the first thing we're going to be talking about is toxicity. Toxicity is crucial in your mentality. It can be crucial in a positive way or a negative way. It depends how you handle toxicity. If you're somebody who takes toxicity as fuel to the fire to improvement, then absorb all that toxicity and use it to flourish. Now, I feel like a lot of people don't do that. So tips for that, just mainly mute those people on your team, mute the chat. If those are people you stack with, find other people to stack with. It's a lot easier than it sounds, or a lot easier said than done. But it really just comes down to how hard you want to work for it. You can find people if you just ask. Really, I feel like 99% of the people that separate them from solo queuing and stacking is just most people that have stacks just ask to play. There's plenty of Discords, any Discord server you're in. There's like any website pretty much. Comments on YouTube videos. I know lots of creators are fine with people trying to find people to play with, have more of an engaged community. So that's the first tip for toxicity. And don't be toxic to other people. It's not going to help them most likely. It's mainly going to hurt them, especially if they're on your team. It's just not gonna help your team at all. Not gonna create a positive experience, because people, in my opinion, do not perform well when you're calling them trash and the worst player you've ever seen and telling them to uninstall the game. It's just a mere fact. People usually don't. It's okay to be confident, which brings me into my next point, and feel like you're better than people. I feel like a lot of this sounds bad, but you need to think you're better than people 99% of the time, especially in a game like R6, or you will lose the fight. If you go to swing somebody and you think, oh, this guy's gonna fry me, he's way better than me, I'm terrible, why would I possibly win this gunfight? Your brain is already subconsciously preparing for you to lose that gunfight, so the outcome is probably gonna be what you're prepared for and what you're thinking about, which is gonna be you getting fried by the guy who's apparently way better than you. Rather, if you think, all right, this guy's not that great, I know where he's going to be swinging me from. I'm in an okay position. Let me swing this guy, or he's going to swing me, or however it's going to be. I'm going to win this fight because I'm better. That's the way you need to be thinking a lot of the time. Now, don't let that confidence turn into arrogance. There's a thin line there by thinking you're better than everybody. This happens a lot, in my opinion, if you're gold 1 to like that plat 3 zone. And this sounds very contradicting. I just said, think you're better than people. Now I just said, don't think you're better than people. But hopefully you can tell the difference. There's a difference between saying you're trash, I'm better than you, why are you on my team, why are you throwing, to I'm better than this guy, I can win this fight for my team and win the game. Like it's more of a competitive arrogance rather than just being a jerk arrogance. There's a difference there. Hopefully you can see it. And now this as an overall mentality, kind of like the ribbon, is playing to learn. Now, people care way too much about their rank. I've made a video on that. Make sure you check that out. If you care too much about your rank, you need to play to learn. You need to see what people do, how you lose, how you win. Lots of these like R6 stats websites tell you your best operators via win-loss, KD, hours played, anything like that. The best weapons that you perform with, anything like that. Use all that information. If you're looking to get better, I'd say you want to play the operators you have the best win-loss with. And if you have like a 100 win-loss on Glaz and you've played like one round with him or whatever, that obviously doesn't count. I mean, like I don't know how long you've played the game, obviously. If you've played 100 hours and you've played 10 hours on Ash and you have a 50 win-loss, but you've played like 7 hours on Thermite and you have a 90 win-loss, you should probably play Thermite more. For me, my most winning operators are, I think, like Gridlock, Capitao, Maverick. People have more like team support utility for attack, and on defense it's like Smoke, Valkyrie, Wamai, and those are the operators I play the most. I have like 40 plus hours on Smoke and almost a 60% win loss, which is pretty good. It's not insane, but it's not terrible. So like 6 out of 10 rounds I win pretty much, which is not bad, especially for ranked. Solo queuing, lots of times it's difficult, which kind of brings me into like a tip I didn't really think about talking about until right now, and it's putting yourself in an experience or an environment to win. This kind of goes back to the toxicity thing. If you're playing solo queue, you can't expect to win every game. You can't assume, I find myself doing this all the time, assume your teammates know what to do. You can't assume anything because you're just going to be let down 9 out of 10 times and fail, and then your motivation and everything is going to be cut in half. And really, you just need to, a YouTuber, a streamer, Austin, this was like a year ago. I still remember him saying this to me. I said in his chat, any tips for solo queuing? And he just said, don't. And at the time, I'm like, that's not really a great help. That's not really that interesting. That's not really that helpful. When in reality, no truer words have ever been spoken. You can't, there's no tips for solo queuing. Out of the millions of people that play this game, you can be matched with 4 of them. Those could be ex-pro players, or they could be their first game of ranked ever. So you can't expect to win. There's no tips for solo queuing. There's operators you can play. There's situations you can put yourself in, but there's no like, okay, you need to be, it's a lot harder to. It's a lot harder to win. It's a lot harder to profit from solo queuing. But this was an interesting video, I feel like. If you learned something new or enjoyed, remember to like and subscribe. All my socials are linked in the description below. Thank you for watching, and peace out, gamers.